It is time now for Better Money. COVID-19 has certainly had an impact on our economy. So what has it done to retirement or even the thought of it? Joel Johnson, a certified financial planner and managing partner at Johnson Brunetti Retirement and Investment Specialist, is here now to talk about where we are as we're, the world's sort of coming out of it a little bit, but people are starting to think about, what do I do now?
Yeah, COVID has changed so many attitudes. It's just been incredible. We've been talking about it a little bit on the program here. It's amazing how people are changing their priorities. A lot of people are retiring early. A lot of people are thinking, I want to work in a different way, maybe even changing jobs. This has been a real spark, in many ways a negative spark, but in many ways a positive spark, because I think people are re-examining their lives.
Yeah, and there's a new study that Fidelity did, the 2021 State of Retirement Planning Study, and some interesting facts. Number one, 33% of people say it'll be 2 to 3 years before they're back on track due to COVID-19. Back on track financially to retire? Back
on track financially. Yeah, this pandemic hit the hospitality industry the hardest. So travel, restaurants, anything like that. Any of those workers really got hit hard. I was at a meeting down in Texas not too long ago, and the people that came in to serve this big conference had not worked in almost a year. And so a lot of people are having a tough time, and it's going to be a while before they get back on track.
And then 3% say it's going to be less than a year, though, before they're back on track. So not many, but some say, and some never lost their jobs.
Some never lost their jobs. Some of the big companies, especially here in Connecticut, were able to keep workers on, change to work from home, and maybe even carry the burden. I was looking at some earnings reports, and some companies took losses over the last couple of quarters, but they kept their workers on. So didn't affect everybody the same.
But the stress of affording health care in retirement, you say, has grown. I think we're all more focused on health, for sure.
We're more focused on health, and health premiums just keep going up. It's so hard, and as an employer, we continue to raise the amount that we contribute toward health insurance. And if you think about it, health insurance is the same whether you make a pile of money or whether you're just an average income earner. And so it really takes a bigger percentage of those average income earners as far as their income goes, and it's really tough.
Yeah, it can be very regressive. Okay, so more than half of people with a plan, though, have felt confident in their ability to retire versus only 30% without a plan. So if you're fearful right now, you might be thinking, I do not want to do a plan. I don't even want to know how bad it is. Is that the wrong thing to be saying?
Well, it's absolutely the wrong thing to be saying. It's like if you're sick and something's going on, you want to know. You kind of don't want to know. It could be really bad. But most people that go in and do a financial plan, especially if you're in your 50s and 60s, they find out that they're in a little bit better shape than they felt like they were. So in some ways it's empowering. Maybe they find out they're a little bit worse off, but there's the confidence of having a plan, of knowing the diagnosis, knowing what the steps to take, whether you can afford to take those steps or not, is so helpful. It's helpful from a psychological standpoint, and it puts you back on track. This is a big reset for everybody, this pandemic.
Yeah.
And so it's important to reset our financial thinking.
Well, and some people have gotten certain things forgiven, or they were able to give some time. We've seen some statistics that savings have gone up. So maybe people, whether they were able to save more because they got some unemployment, or they also are just focusing on saving more.
Right, and also the spending now is amazing. You had Patrice on talking about travel, how it's picked up, and people are looking at it differently. So people have saved, they're spending some of that money they've saved. Hopefully they're not spending all of it. I think this was a real wake-up call, and people are being very cautious about how much they have saved.
So you have a guide for folks. It's a 2021 retirement study. And tell me a little bit about what's in this.
So this is a new study, and what it talks about is, hey, what's new in retirement planning over not just the pandemic year, but over the last few years? What has changed? What's changed as far as attitudes go? What people need to prioritize?
Yep.
The fact that people are living longer, and how inflation needs to be a factor in retirement planning.
So you can get this for free if you're watching. You can visit bettermoneytv.com, and I know you and your team will just send it out to folks and answer any questions they might have.
We'll send it out. We love all those email questions we get from our viewers, and so email away the questions and make sure you get the guide.
All right, Joel, thank you so much for Better Money. And I also want to say thank you to Mark Robbins, who's filling in today over there. Is it comfy on the couch there, Mark?
Yes, thanks so much for having me. Enjoy National Nap Day, everybody.
Oh, that's right. You're the good napper. We'll set the timer for 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere, though, because Eyewitness News at 4 is coming up next. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow.